Okay, so we know that watch brands that are part of a larger group structure often have a strong brand identity. They're recognizable all over the world. They're household names. On the other hand, independents are a bit tricky because of the fact that they are independent and can do anything they want. They can be hard to define. So instead of me just sharing my input, I decided to do something a little different. I reached out to a few independent watch brands and point blank asked them, what does being independent mean for you? Why is it so important? How has being independent helped shape your watch brand? They got back to me, and this is what they said.
So, how has being an independent
shaped my watch brand?
Well, being independent is really at the core of what h.moser stands for today. I think in the mind of many people around the world.
Being independent is absolutely at the core of what we create.
Being independent is absolutely necessary for the history and the story, the foundation of MB&F.
Being an independent company is a very important asset for us. It really allows us to go our own way.
Being independent is a great thing, actually. So what we can do at h.moser, ultimately it's Claude and myself, so we have the freedom to create what we believe.
Freedom to think what we want, to create what we want, to be able to work with who we want, is what made us. And the most important is that creatively, I could create products while I was being terrified that nobody would ever buy them. Well, you can't do that when you're in a big company. So it is, being independent is, like, for all of my friends and colleagues, is who we are.
There's two things to consider for me. The first of which being the fact that as I'm a new independent brand, I don't have an archive. I don't have lots of references, which, as much as it is a challenge, it was an opportunity for me. I had a totally blank slate, and that allowed me to create something quite unique. The other consideration is, as a small independent, I don't have anyone to report to. I don't have investors. I don't have advisors. So the opportunity there was I didn't have to think commercially. If I had investors, if I had people to report to, the likelihood of me introducing my first product as a watermelon themed column wheel chronograph probably wouldn't have happened. But that approach has allowed me to create something totally unique. So that's how it's really helped to shape my brand.
If we want to create, let's say, a resonance, we started to create a resonance. When I look back in the history of h.moser, Claude and myself, we said, okay, at the moment we are still depending from movement supply. Let's make the step to be an independent watch manufacturer. So we had the freedom to create our in-house capacity, our in-house manufacturing. And so being independent for me is short decisions. It's just Claude and myself sitting together, taking decisions and realizing ultimately what we have the passion for. So we control the process of creating a watch from A to Z.
We are a family-owned and run business that gives us a lot of freedom in terms of creativity in the way we run the business. It also gives us a lot of reactivity, flexibility. We take decisions very quickly, and we know the market is changing very fast. We need to bring things very quickly in the market. We need to be completely free to take risks, and I think that's at the core of what h.moser stands for. It's really pioneering, adventurous, but at the same time relying on traditional values and in really respect of history of watchmaking, because our family grew up in that. So I think it's really at the core of what we are. We are independent. We are independently minding. We create independently. We do business independently. We take decisions quickly, and that's what shaped h.moser over the years.
It's what allowed us to spend a lot of time and effort on developing and building our movements, our in-house movement, Caliber 400. But it's really what allows us to shape this company to go forward. Yes, we are a small company, and basically, if I have a good idea, I need to do it myself. There's not like 100 people in marketing, for instance, that will take care of things. We have a very strong marketing department, but if you have a good idea, there's high probability you'll need to take care of it yourself. But then again, it really allows us to be very entrepreneurial on every single level. Everyone has to kind of like have that entrepreneurial mindset, otherwise it wouldn't work. But all in all, personally, I think this really adds to the whole job and makes it so much more interesting, and you really know what you're working for. It's not just some you're not a small wheel in a big conglomerate, but you are really, everyone is a central element in the company, and that's great. And personally, that's really what makes that job that much more interesting, that much more rewarding to me.
Now, being independent gives me, as the owner of Fears, so much more flexibility. I have made so many decisions over the last 7 years running Fears that really, when you first consider it, don't make much financial sense. But I knew were going to be important for creating the brand that Fears is today. Some examples, little things like when we send out a watch to its new owner, it arrives gift wrapped with beautiful ribbon tied in a bow. This does have a cost. Sadly, wrapping paper and ribbon are not free. But rather than worrying about the extra cost, the extra time it takes, some would even say the extra hassle, for me, it's a very good reminder that this watch is going to be someone's treasured possession. And I think this is one of the little things, a little example of something that helps set Fears apart. But also, being independent influences what we make. So rather than having to follow the trends and say, right, everyone is making this color or this type of watch, and therefore we have to do it as well if we're to compete with the whole industry. Instead, being independent allows us to take a step back and go, actually, what do I want to create? What do I want to see my family's watch company making? What is true to our DNA? So rather than following the trend, you have to be braver and go, actually, I've been given this wonderful opportunity by being an independent watch company. So a little bit more pressure being independent, but also the flexibility and freedom to make other decisions.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks to all the brands that participated in this fun little project. And finally, thanks to you guys. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. Everything that I've been able to do, all of that has been possible because of you. You know, it's all in good fun. I don't like to take things too seriously. Sometimes I do. In the end, this channel wouldn't exist without you guys. So thank you so much for your support, your encouragement, just being here. Thanks again for watching. Happy New Year, and God willing, see you in the next one.